Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Market Fatafat on ET now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me as always is Cheryl D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where we're going to highlight all the counters that are buzzing either on the back of the news flow or on the back of the technicals and tracking the market action as of now, Cheryl. That's the Bank Nifty that is putting some pressure. As of now, it's a 200 points cut is what we are seeing. But interesting to note that the Bajaj twins are lending support to the market today.
Absolutely, Shrishti. If you had seen the market and the setup of the market at 11 a.m., nothing has changed actually. In fact, from that time on, the markets are just holding on to those levels that it actually kick-started trading. So yes, we are trading with a negative bias when it comes to Nifty. A tad bit of recovery from the day's lowest point, you could say. But yes, nevertheless, holding on to the 22,000 mark. If you look at Nifty Bank, exactly where it was about 2.5 hours ago. So it is actually trading steady in those levels. 200 points decline coming in for Nifty Bank. Bajaj twins, yes, they are lending support. You have Bajaj Finance, which has moved to be the top gainer on the Nifty, with followed by Hindalco actually. That one also has recovered from the day's lows, and now it is among the top two gainers on the Nifty, followed by Britannia, ONGC as well as L&T. But talking about the losing end of the market, Power Grid, Aisha Motors, Divi's Laboratories, Wipro, Bharti Airtel are some of the losers, and the advanced decline ratio, the breadth of the market is tad bit tilted in the favor of the decline. So that's the way how the markets are looking like at this point in time, Srishti. Yes, pretty flat coming in. I think everyone's hit with Tuesday blues for a change, coming back after a long weekend.
Well, yes, feels like, Cheryl, and just waiting the next 2 days to get over. But it is indeed a truncated week. But a lot of stock-specific action, viewers, and that's what we are going to highlight in the next 1 hour. So let's quickly connect with our technical expert for today. That is Osho Krishan, that is joining us on the technical front, as well as on the research side. Ashesha as well as Snehi is joining us right now. Very good afternoon to all three of you. And let's get started with the first bunch of stocks that we're going to highlight, in two counters particularly. That is Dr. Lal PathLab and Metropolis that are in focus after Kotak Securities has come out with a note, and they have come out with a positive note on both of these counters. And it was a while that we have seen positive note coming in on Dr. Lal PathLab specifically, where Kotak Securities has actually upgraded the rating to an add from a sell rating earlier and hiked the target price to 2,360 rupees versus 1,975 rupees. As well as when it comes to Metropolis, they do maintain their reduced rating but have hiked the target price to 1,600 now. So that's why we are seeing good gains on Dr. Lal PathLab, because there is still headroom that is left. But what they are highlighting is that Metropolis and one of the subsidiaries of Max Healthcare, they both have taken price hikes in Q4 of FY24. So after a lot of action and a lot of competition coming in from the online players, all these major companies and the traditional players rather are now in a position to get away with the competition a little bit and come back with their price hike trajectory. Other than that, they're also saying that there is increasing competition indeed, but the major concerns on the structural volume and the margins is now behind, and going ahead, both of these companies and the traditional players can actually benefit from that. The kind of a price hikes that these companies are finally able to take in this particular domain, and that's why we are seeing positive action in both of these names.
All right, that's diagnostic stocks for you that are in focus. Also, you have the insurers that are in focus in today's trading session after the IRDAI's new surrender value rules. So you have HDFC Life, Max Financial leading the rally, especially in the insurance company pack. Like I mentioned, IRDAI has actually notified new rules on surrender value, which will likely have little impact on the earnings. So on back of that, you saw a good uptick coming in for HDFC Life, as much as 3%. ICICI Prudential saw an uptick of about 4% on an intraday basis. Max Financial saw an uptick of as much as about 7% or so from the at the highest point of the day. Now they've given up some of those early morning gains. What brokerages are saying is, one is that by maintaining the existing surrender value for non-linked policies, the regulator has dispelled the anticipated negative impact. This is what Nomura Analyst actually mentioned, while Kotak Securities is saying that the final guidelines have relaxed the guaranteed surrender value limits indicated in the draft regulations. This is resulting in near negligible impact for these companies. So on back of that, you can see HDFC Life now barely in the positive territory, Max Financial holding on to gains about 4%.
All right, moving on then, and Osho coming to you for the first counter, and that is Apollo Hospitals. In the past 5 days, a good move of more than 5% is what we have seen. Well, what are the next targets that you are looking out for?
Very good afternoon, everyone. Well, as we have seen in the last 3 weeks, there has been a very strong dip in this counter from the zone of 6,800. It has corrected near the zone of 6,000, which is approximately 12 to 13% kind of a dip. But in the last one trading week, there has been a strong recoup in this counter, and on daily time frame, I am witnessing a double bottom breakout in this counter. So I'm expecting that from here onwards, there is a very strong reversal for Apollo Hospital, and in the near period, one can definitely expect a target of 6750 in the coming on a positional basis. While on the downside, 6200 should be providing a very strong cushion. So if there will be any dip towards 6200 or 6250, one should definitely try to accumulate this counter for a higher target of 6750 on immediate basis.
Alright, moving on then, Aisha, looks like healthcare sector definitely is in focus in today's trading session. First we spoke about diagnostics, then hospitals. Now let's talk about Mankind Pharma, and why is this one in focus today?
Well, yes, it is on the back of a block deal that took place today morning. The stock at one point in time was declining as much as 3%, but it has now recovered significantly from the lowest point of the day and is now trading with a gain of nearly 0.5%. 1.19 crore or 3% equity changed hands via a block deal that took place today morning. And Link Investment Trust is the most likely seller in the block deal that took place. Reports suggested that the price band has been fixed in the range of 2,103 to 2,214 rupees per share, which was at a discount of 5% as compared to Friday's closing price. The total offer size could stand anywhere between 2,500 crores, and Jefferies and IIFL Securities were the brokers to this particular block deal. So on account of this block deal, the stock is in focus now. Apart from this, Nuvama has come out with a report which talks about the impact of likely inflows in this counter on account of shareholding change, where they say that if March 2024 end shareholding is released before April 16th, then Mankind will qualify for MSCI May 2024 inclusion, and this could lead to inflows of nearly $56 million. So this is the stock is in focus on account of block deal and possible inclusion in the index. Now, of course, as we speak, it is gaining nearly 0.5%.
All right, moving on then, and Osho, talk to us about Bajaj Finserv. After a long while, after a long time now, we are seeing Bajaj Twins are back in action. Which are the targets that you are looking out for when it comes to Bajaj Finserv then?
For Bajaj Finserv, we are witnessing a lower highs pattern on the daily time frame, but overall the counter has recovered strongly from the 200-day SMA in the recent period. So I'm expecting that as it has inched towards the sloping trend line, which falls around 1615 odd levels. So I'm expecting once it breaches the zone of 1615 on a closer basis, there will be a very strong upside movement that can be seen. But immediately 1660 should be seen as the first target. Once it crosses the level of 1660, then from there onwards 1720 and 1740 can be seen as a retesting or reclaiming in this counter from positional basis.
Alright, moving on, Snehi, let's talk about RVNL. This one in focus once again on back of an order inflow.
Absolutely, Cheryl, spot on, because the stock has been in the buzz on the back of multiple order inflows over the course of last week. So let's see what's new about this order today. And this stock has gained 4% in early trade, continues to hold on to those gains because it's almost 5% up as we speak, after this company inked an MOU with the Airports Authority of India for the construction of a subway or an underpass to connect the operational area to the Airport Authority of India with the residential colony in Kolkata. Now, the estimated cost of this project is 229.4 crore rupees, so roughly 230 crore rupees worth of this contract. And earlier also in March, RVNL won two projects worth 386 crore from the Central Railway and Maharashtra Metro Rail Corporation Limited. The company has recently also received a letter of award from the Himachal Pradesh State Electricity Board for the development of distribution infra in both north and south zones of the state. So, while on the back of yet another order win, this stock is doing pretty well in an otherwise somber market, up 5% almost as we speak.
All right, but another counter that is in focus, that is BSE. Osho, tell us, how is the technical setup looking like for BSE?
Overall, BSE is into a broader range consolidation zone, but in the last week we have seen a very strong recovery in this counter from approximately 100-day exponential moving average with a runaway gap. That is a very positive development on technical parameters. And even as we have seen a runaway gap with this, we are also witnessing a flat kind of a pattern that is being formed on the daily time frame. So approximately the target comes around 2500, which approximately will be the 52 weeks high for the counter. So I'm expecting in the coming short-term perspective, definitely this counter has a potential to retest the 52 weeks high. So one should definitely try to gauge the momentum and accumulate this counter even at current levels for a higher target of 2500 plus in the near term future.
All right, so that's the take coming in on BSE. On that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. But as we slip into a break, hear out what you can do to actually save your taxes as we come to an end of the financial year.
Let's shift focus and talk about meal coupons, because meal coupons are often provided by employers. Can you elaborate on how these can be utilized for tax savings?
Yes, so when it comes to meal coupons, the allowance is 50 rupees per meals for 3 meals in a day, so 150 rupees a day, and it's assumed that we are working 22 days because weekends is not included in this. So if you take this number, then it's approximately 150 rupees a day into 22 working days. Okay, so that is the amount which you can claim in terms of food reimbursement.
For the youngsters, I would say the tax discount on education loan is something very, very critical. Because education loans come expensive, right? If you take a loan against mutual funds, you get it at 9% also. But education loans are 11, 12, 13%. If there is an education loan and you're paying that, there's a provision which gives you a discount. Always have a conversation and don't miss taking the tax advantage on education loan.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's continue talking with the stocks that are in focus. Let's talk about Parag Phosphates, and that particular stock is in focus in today's trading session. At one point in time, the stock saw a sharp decline as much as 3% or so. Now it's recovered from the day's lowest point. The reason why the stock actually fell to the lowest levels in December 2023 is because the Central Pollution Control Board issued closure of operations notice to the fertilizer makers Paradeep plant due to a non-compliance with the pollution board conditions. The company has said that there is no wrongdoing from their side and they are confident of resolving the matter through appropriate remedies. And as you can see it on your screen, the stock has definitely recovered sharply from the day's lowest point. 3% drop is what it registered at one point in time. Now trading lower by about 0.7%. Shrishti.
All right, that's about Parag Phosphates. But one such counter that is in focus today on the back of some bit of a profit booking is what we are seeing is Aisha Motors. Osho, take us through how is the technical setup looking like, because the last week we had seen a phenomenal move on Aisha Motors, but with a 1.5% decline, good time to get in?
See, certainly, as you have mentioned, after a week of very strong rebound in this counter, there has been some kind of profit booking from the very strong resistance point, which is the previous swing high. But obviously, if I'll be talking about the technical parameters, then this counter have seen a symmetrical triangle pattern breakout on the daily time frame. So overall, it has been, it is looking very positive and it is poised to test the zone of 4200 from a positional point of view. But in short term, yes, there can be certain blips that can happen. But 3800, 3850 should be acting as a very strong cushioning for this counter. So even at current levels, one should try to accumulate it in a staggered manner, and another set of buying should be happening around 3850 odd levels for a higher target of nearly 4200 from a short to medium term time frame. Overall, the structure looks very positive, and one should definitely try to keep this counter in their portfolio.
All right, moving on, Aisha, let's talk about Skipper, and looks like this was a part of our big brokerage call today. Which brokerage has come out with their take on Skipper today?
Well, yes, Incred has come out with an initiating coverage note on this counter with an ad rating and a target price of 400, and the stock is soaring in trade today, over 8% higher as we speak. A very positive brokerage report where Incred first says that Skipper is one of India's leading T&D players and among top 10 global T&D structure makers. Remember, it is an integrated company, one of India's only integrated T&D makers. Domestic T&D business is showing signs of rebound after nearly 2 years of weakness that we saw in this sector. The outlook is quite positive. Margins are expected to recover. Order book pipeline and order book position is also very strong, and they expect Skipper to maintain consistent margins and healthy revenue growth going forward. So for now, they've initiated coverage with an ad rating and a target price of 400, and even after the run-up that we have seen in the stock, Incred sees nearly 25% upside from the current market price. So very positive initiating coverage report that has come in this counter, and we can see the stock gaining over 8% in trade today.
Well, no stopping for Skipper today. That's the brokerage call. But Snehi, take us through what's happening in Reliance Power as well as JSW Energy. Seems like there's a deal between both of them.
Well, yes, Shrishti, that's absolutely right. Now, we have an update on the slump sale of the Maharashtra wind project that belongs to Reliance Power. JSW Renewable Energy, which is a subsidiary of JSW Energy, has announced that it will be acquiring the 45 megawatt wind power project from Reliance Power on a slump sale basis, and this deal will be happening for 132 crore rupees. Now, this 132 crore figures will be receivable upon closing of this deal, and the two companies signed a business transfer agreement with the completion of the deal contingent on regulatory approvals. The acquisition adds to JSW Energy's portfolio, which includes a total locked-in generation capacity of 12.5 gigawatts. The date of the completion of this slump sale is expected to be the 21st of May this year. So, well, on the back of this deal that both of these companies have gone ahead and signed, Reliance Power is almost up 5% as we speak, but JSW Energy slightly tempered in trade, down 0.4% as we speak.
All right, moving on, Osho, let's talk about Apollo Tyres and how is this one looking on the charts to you? Because yes, we've seen what is happening in the commodity markets, but then talking about Apollo Tyres in particular, how is it looking to you now? Because the stocks did see a sharp dip.
See, in the last 2 weeks, yes, as you have mentioned, the counter has seen a very steep correction from the zone of 540 towards the 200-day SMA, which even coincides with the previous breakout zone of 440. So two coincidence on technical parameters. One is 200-day SMA and the other one is the breakout zone. So from here onwards, I am expecting that there can be a strong reversal that can be seen in Apollo Tyres in the coming future, because in the coming future, I am expecting a target of nearly 495 to 500 odd levels on a very short-term perspective. And once it breaches the zone of 500, then from there onwards, 540 can be retested in a short-term time frame. Even on the technical parameters, the counter have seen a very positive development with positive crossovers on majority of the oscillators. So I'm expecting that from here onwards, there can be a strong move in this counter in the short to medium-term time frame.
All right, moving on then, and let's shift focus to Indigo, which is seen to be flying high in today's trading session. And just on Friday, we did see an analyst con call by the company. That was a physical meet. And today, a lot of these brokerages have come out with a note, and everybody is sounding positive. Wherein in the analyst call, the company did highlight its three-pillar for growth strategy, that is affordable fares, lower cancellation as well as on-time performance. They also seek to enhance the consumer experience and invest in talent, and Indigo aims to enhance significantly to expand their international network. And these experts, the brokerages have come out with a positive note, case in point being Jefferies, where they have upgraded the rating on this counter to a hold now versus an underperform earlier, and raised the target price to 3,435 rupees. While when it comes to UBS, they continue to maintain their buy rating on this counter, raise the target price from 3,900 to 4,000 now, where they're also highlighting that investors, they reinstate their confidence on the industry and the company's prospects, beats to continue in the near term, and they maintain their positive stance considering strong growth prospects. And on the back of all these brokerage notes, we are seeing no stopping for Indigo, and seems like flying to the sky today.
All right, that is Indigo for you. That's flying high in trade today. But Osho, Petronet, LNG, how is this one looking on the charts to you? Do you think this one also will have a great run, continue to fly high after the consolidatory phase that the stock has seen after logging good gains?
Yes, definitely. If I'll be talking about the recent development in this counter, then this counter has consolidated near the previous swing low. So initially, when it has given a very strong vertical rally from the zone of 230 towards 295, after that it has corrected a bit towards 255, again seen a rally, and now again has consolidated near 255. So from here onwards, I am expecting that again this counter has potential to retest the zone of 290.95 in the coming future. Even on the technical parameters, majority of the oscillators have given a positive crossover with today's development of approximately 3% gains on a notable volume. So I'm expecting it is the initial sign of reversal in this counter, and one should definitely buy this with a very strong risk reward ratio, 255 on the lower end and 290.95 on the higher end.
All right, moving on then, let's shift focus to two counters from the financial space in Spain. That's the sector that you track. Talk to us about JM Financials as well as IIFL. Why are both of these counters in focus today?
Reserve Bank of India has said that it will start a special audit of non-banking financial companies IIFL Finance and JM Financial Products from the 12th of April. Now, what's key to remember is that the central bank had on 5th March barred JM Financial Products from giving loans against shares, debentures, including sanction and disbursal of loans against IPOs with immediate effect. Now, the central bank has called for tenders for the appointment of auditors to conduct this special audit. And in the case of IIFL Finance, the special audit is going to be of the loan book of the company, of the gold loan book, pardon me. Remember, RBI had said that due to supervisory concerns, they are stopping issue of fresh gold loans by IIFL Finance, and added that they will conduct a special audit to seek compliance to the queries that they had raised during their regular audit. So on the back of this special audit that is going to begin for both of these companies from the 12th of April, you can see both of these stocks are down anywhere between 3 and 3.5% in today's trading session.
All right, moving on, Osho, let's talk about Zydus Life, and how is this one looking at the charts? Do you know that it's hit a fresh record high level in today's trading session?
See, overall, it has been maintaining a cycle of higher highs, higher lows. In the last two trading weeks, it has consolidated in a narrow zone of 970 to 1000. But today we are witnessing a very strong setup, and it has breached the major psychological mark of 1000. So I am expecting that from here onwards, another 50 point of rally can be seen in this counter. So immediately 1050 should be the target, and while on the downside 980, 990 should be cushioning the short-term trader. So one should definitely try to buy this counter for immediate target of 1050.
And we are back with the latest edition of the Times Now Summit. Remember, over the years, Times Now Summit has been championing the pertinent national agenda points where India's leadership, leading thinkers and national influencers come together to define the action plan for India's progress. Themed India Unstoppable this year, we will focus on charting India's remarkable journey and its influence on the global stage. So join us on March 27th and the 28th in New Delhi and watch the who's who of the political corridor share their views. So do stay with us for all the highlights and all the action as the action begins here only on Times Network.